gentlemen, welcome into the show, everybody. Let's do that again. Hello, and welcome to the show, everybody. It is Monday, July 19th. It's 8:35 in the morning. I'm a little late today. You know how Mondays go. Just kidding. No, I had some issues setting up the stream again today. The June gloom in California is officially over. It is so bright in the mornings right now. It's already about I don't know, like 80 something degrees. Let me look at who the temperature is at 8:30 this morning. It's not that hot, it's just so bright. It's only 73. That is the warmest 73 degrees I've ever felt outside. There's no way that's only 73 degrees, but that's what my iPhone says, and you know, iPhones know all. But if you're watching the stream right now, you'll see that I have this blanket. If you're watching live, it's a Dallas Cowboys blanket, guarding or over. I'm next to my front door because my house is really small, and the sun gets so bright in the mornings, but we haven't had that issue for the past little over a month because of the June gloom here in San Clemente. That's very real. For those who don't know, the June gloom is the it's like basically like a marine layer, like it's low-lying clouds that basically cover and make San Clemente completely super cloudy for about the whole month of June, and it trickled over to half of July as well. But I hope everybody had a fantastic weekend. We are currently experiencing a I don't know how to say this, a push from government officials that we might need to go into lockdown again or wear masks. As of Saturday at 11:59 p.m., the mask mandate for LA County was back on for everybody, vaccinated or unvaccinated, indoors. So that's where we are in the world right now. My dog just got a new squeaky toy, and he doesn't realize that it's so loud, and I'm recording a show. I'm gonna have to take the ball away from him. Come here. Don't worry, guys. We'll give it back to him after the show. I'll put it right there. But now that it's so bright in here, it's hard for me to see my screen. So if it takes me a second to respond to chat, I apologize. At least for my monitoring screen. I see we got some people coming in. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you comment. Make sure you share. If you're watching on the podcast after this is over, make sure you tell your friends about it. We're actually got some listeners on the first couple episodes that aren't just me. I fast forward through each episode to make sure the quality of the MP3 is good on Spotify. I don't have any of the other streaming other podcast platforms, so if you want to give me some feedback on they sound on there as well. I'm assuming they sound the same, assuming they sound fine. But hey, we don't have any sponsors. The only sponsors we have for the show are you guys, the viewers, the listeners, the fans. So the way you can help out and support is to share, like, comment, follow, subscribe, whatever platform you're on. Make sure you're doing the thing that you need to do where you give positive feedback as well as comment and subscribe. So, excuse me, don't want to burp into the microphone there, but hey, this week is going to be a good week, y'all. I believe if you're listening to this, that you are a person that is somewhat driven or someone that is looking for a little bit of motivation. I'm not necessarily doing this podcast for motivation, but I will always try to be the optimistic person or the person that's driven or the person that is, like, let's get after it kind of mentality. And that's how I live my life is, we got things we got to do this week. We got things I need to accomplish. For me, I got, football practice all this week. Got to compete. Today in the weight room, we're maxing out bench press for those who don't care about working out. Just fast forward for the next 20 seconds. But that's what we're going to do today in the weight room. So I'm looking forward to that. And then we got film and practice. Today will mark the very first. Today was when I was planning on starting the show. today would have been our first episode, but I decided, screw it, let's get after it. And we started the show last week. So this is the third episode of the show. I'm actually enjoying this. I don't have, I still haven't got any suggestions on guests yet. So if you guys want to drop suggestions for guests, hold on, I'm getting a notification on my phone from Twitch. I want to make sure that we're good. Okay, we're good. We are Gucci. Hopefully the quality of the actual content itself is good. Let me share that. Make sure I'm gonna share this to Facebook or share my Twitch link real quick. I don't know how to do that. Actually, I'm gonna move on. All right, guys. So this week, I want to make sure that everybody understands that this show is going to be somewhat daily. It's going to be around the same time every morning. Around 8:15 in the morning is when I'm going to try to go live every morning, Monday through Thursday. So that means that gets the live viewers. You guys could listen. If you're on Twitch or YouTube or Facebook, you don't have to watch it, but you can. You can just listen while you do whatever. So if you're listening on MP3, the only thing that you're going to miss out visually is, if I pull up something on the screen or, the interactions with the live viewers. So you can go watch it on YouTube after the fact. This is the way I'm going to market. It's just by word of mouth. Okay. So what's in the news today? Let me pull up my Apple iPhone here and go to the Apple News, which is what I get notified almost every day for something random. And let's go top stories. The Wall Street Journal. I'm just going to read it. I haven't read this beforehand. I'm going to read it live on the show. U.S. blames hackers tied to China for Microsoft cyber attack spree. Okay, I'm not really interested in that. Haiti's Prime Minister Claude Joseph says he will step down amid leadership dispute. Don't know anything about that. This one says, for you, CNN Politics. I don't know how it decides that I want to read about this. That didn't happen. Daniel Dale fact checks Arizona audit claims. Ooh, this might be interesting. For those who don't know, they're still auditing Arizona votes. I don't know what that looks like. I haven't looked that much into it, but this article on the top says that didn't happen, which is a quote by Daniel Dale. Don't know who that guy is. Fact checks Arizona audit claims. Let me skim through this real quick and just give you all the deets. Daniel Dale fact checks the false claim by the head of the Arizona election audit that more than 70,000 mail-in ballots were fraudulently received in the state during the 2020 election. So by the first sentence, I'm not going to even go any further into that. By the first sentence, it's just going to tell you that there's false claims. Because it says Daniel Dale fact checks the false claims. So he's already going in biased. So that's where our media is at today. That's what I don't like about the news right now. And one reason why I have the show, I'm not going to have a news show, but I am going to do hot takes, which I just did about, stuff that's going on in our culture. And right now, that was just what came up on my phone. I'm not going to always talk about politics. I'm not going to do the same topics over and over again, but that's just what came up. I think we should just need to move on. Biden's the president. We need to move on and just do what we can do to make our lives as best we can right now. The economic situation in Biden isn't good. I think we can all agree to that. Biden has not pulled through on a lot of his promises as far as what he's going to do on the border. He has not followed through on what he says he's going to do with student loan debt. Biden and Kamala Harris have turned their back on the black community, and I'm not going to say that's what got them voted, but they definitely did push for the black and minority vote, and they 100% turned their back on them. They're so contradicting when it comes to their border patrol policies. So I think we just need to move on and just not ignore, but we need to move past this whole election audit. I get why Arizona's doing it, but what I don't like about this, I'm not even going to read the whole article. I think it's just a quote, actually. I don't even think it's a whole article. It starts off biased because the very first sentence says, CNN's Daniel Dale fact checks the false claims by the head of the Arizona election audit by more than 70,000 mail-in ballots, blah, 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 blah. He went into it saying that it's false and not trying to do research, not trying to see the evidence that they have. If it's going on this long, what month? We're in July. We're halfway through. We're more than halfway through July. We're almost to August. And they are still pursuing the audit of the 2020 election. I would say that there is at least a little bit of evidence that something went down. I'm not saying it's enough to change the outcome of the vote or the outcome of the election. I'm not saying it's even like rampant. I'm not even saying it's all Democratic. I would say that the Republican Party cheated as well, if there is cheating. But more than likely, there is not zero evidence or zero election fraud. It's got to be more than zero. And not just in Arizona, and probably every state. There was definitely going to be election fraud for, the Trump party as well. There's no way that it's zero on both sides. But Biden won. If there is election fraud, nothing's going to be done about it now. I think we need to move on. I don't think that stewing over a lost election, it just sounds like we're sore losers. Sorry, it sounds like the Republican Party is sore losers, not we're sore losers. I'm not a sore loser. We lost. I voted Republican. I voted for Trump. I'm not necessarily pro-Trump. Necessarily, I was pro-Trump 2020. But I would have liked to have maybe different options as in the Republican representative, or I would have voted libertarianism. I would have voted libertarianism if there was a chance that we would win. So the problem is with voting the third party or voting libertarian is that at this point in our economic climate, there is almost zero chance that they'd win. The numbers just aren't there yet. And I said yet because I have a wild prediction based on, what do I base it on? I don't know. Base it on feeling, I guess. My prediction is that I said this in 2019. I said after the next two presidents, that third president from now, I'm not going to say it's libertarianism because there might be a different party that rises, but a president that is not representative of Democratic or Republican, like that third party, you know what I'm saying? That is when we'll have a chance to, that's when that party will have a chance to actually win. Because people will say, oh, there's always a chance they'll win. Well, not really. Like, that's like saying a middle school basketball team has a chance to beat the Los Angeles Lakers in a game of basketball. I mean, sure, there's a chance. There's a chance that they could win, but not really. But I would have voted, I'm more aligned with libertarianism policies on like pretty much everything I have discovered. However, I'm much, out of Republican, Democratic, I'm more aligned myself Republican, especially when it comes with economic perspectives, when it comes with obviously gun control, that kind of thing, just overall freedoms. But I'm not a diehard Trump person. I'm not a diehard like Biden's evil, that kind of thing. Obviously Biden, it's no secret that President Biden is on some sort of mental, I'm not gonna even call it decline, because it's been declined. He is at the freaking valley of his decline. I don't know if Biden can get any worse. There's got to be reasons. Look, I saw an article where the former, I don't know what you want to call it, like the chief doctor or whatever, that was like the medical person over Trump and the medical person over Barack Obama, he straight up said in a public setting, and I was like a public quote or whatever, that he thinks that Joe Biden needs to have a mental cognitive test or something like that. And I don't know this guy's name. Let's look it up. Let's look it up here. I'm gonna type in doctor that said Biden needs mental test. Dr. Ronnie Jackson, former White House physician, called on President Biden to immediately undergo a cognitive test so the commander-in-chief can prove that the American public was sound mentally. This is what I'm looking up here. Let me switch my screen.
You're trying to lose belly
fat. An ad. We don't need that ad. I can't see. Again, I can't even see my little stream deck because of the glare is so unbelievably. Okay, this is what I'm reading right here, not this ad. Okay. Can y'all read that? Let's make it bigger. Dr. Ronnie Jackson calls on Biden to immediately undergo cognitive test to assess his mental impairment. He straight up calls out and says mental impairment. Texas Congressman leads letter 14 GOP reps to outline concerns about Biden's memory. So he's not alone in this. We can't sit any longer, Jackson told Hannity Thursday night, citing Biden's embarrassing performance overseas this week with world leaders. He's not physically or cognitively fit to be our president right now, Jackson added. I would agree to that. And then it goes into, oh, he did call out. Okay, I guess this isn't the only time he's done this. He called out Trump, I guess. I do vaguely remember this. We encourage you to follow the example set by President Trump by undergoing a cognitive test as soon as possible, immediately making the results available for the American people. When was this article? Because I read this a while ago. Published June 17th. What day is it? It's July 19th. This is a month ago. Dang, this month flew by, y'all. This month flew by, y'all. So, I'm going to leave this here on the screen if y'all want to keep reading it. It's just on Fox News. That's probably it. The source is biased, but it's just quotes. So it's not like... Oh, I just glanced at this. Trump scored a perfect 30 out of 30 during the cognitive test as part of his annual physical, and Jackson announced the results in 2018 at the White House press conference, where he also famously quitted that Trump might live to be, quote, is that supposed to say quoted? Famously quipped? I don't know what that means. Trump might live to be 200 years old. Okay, so this guy might be a little bananas as well. But I think what he's saying isn't totally out of bounds, where we as the American people deserve to know if our president is physically fit. The Democrats demanded that Trump do it because they thought he was wacko, which I would then also agree that Trump is a little out there. But just because someone's crazy doesn't mean they're not mentally fit, capable of being president. I mean, as far as like, when I mean mentally capable, I mean like actually not dying. I mean, where your brain is firing on somewhat all cylinders, not that like you need to be. I'm not saying Trump like knew how to be president. I'm saying that he was physically able to be president, if that makes sense, to undergo the rigors of being president, because it's not easy to do that. If you're watching right now, you can suggest any topic. We can talk about whatever. I'm building the live audience as we speak, or not as we speak, but in the coming weeks. So right now, the live aspect of the show is going to be a little dull. We will have guests. We will have like special things happening. But right now, I'm just trying to get on a routine to where I'm going live every day, uploading the MP3, uploading the Spotify. this is gonna take a process, y'all. But I believe that we can do something great with the show. Uh, Personally, um, this isn't like easy for me to do. Just turning on the camera, turning on the microphone, hitting live, like go live, because I really don't write a script. Today I was so focused on like getting the podcast set up and going, with the issues I was having, that I didn't even think about what I was gonna say. I didn't like the previous two episodes, the first episode and second episode, I had something on my mind. I didn't write it down. I didn't have a script necessarily, but I kind of had an idea of what I would want to talk about if there was some dead space. But with this right now, like I literally didn't plan anything for the show or the podcast for the whatever, because I want it to all be organic. I want it to all be relatable. I want it to all be I want it to be interactive. So until we get the live audience built up, it's going to be a little dead in that aspect. On Tuesday, I mean not on Tuesday, on the second on episode 2, we had quite a bit of interaction from the audience, and I was pleasantly surprised. However, we got 5, not even 5 followers on Twitch yet. Like I think 5 subscribers on YouTube. They might all be the same people, so they might only have like 5 different people. But I wanted to just go live to get the routine down, and I feel like that is in line to what I was saying on, when did I go? Saturday. We had a show on Saturday. What I was talking about on Saturday, where I'm just gonna show up, and then whatever happens happens. Some episodes might be better than others, but I feel like that's how it's always going to be. My wife and I, speaking of episodes, just finished that show Schitt's Creek. We finished it this weekend, I believe. The show overall was decent. I would say give it a watch. It's not a replacement for Parks and Rec or The Office. I'm a huge Office fan. However, I will say that there was like a half a season to where we realized it was kind of boring, but it picks back up. So if you're watching Schitt's Creek and you're in like season 4 or 5, it picks back up and it gets funny again. I am taking suggestions on new shows to watch because my shows that I love to watch are getting stripped from me. Parks and Rec and The Office are no longer on Netflix. That is not new news, but it is something that we need to keep talking about, because why does Netflix get rid of the best shows? I don't understand that. They got rid of The Office, Parks and Rec, got rid of Friends. I could live without Friends, to be honest, because that's the kind of show I've seen it twice all the way through. Not like, I mean, it took a while, and then I'm kind of like, okay, I got the gist. Every episode is quote unquote that time when the whatever, and then there's the famous we were on a break, they were on a break. Okay, if you are on Jennifer Aniston's side and said that Ross cheated, they broke up. Okay, and then they got back together. All right, let's just settle the debate right then and there. But The Office is, I mean, you couldn't do that show today. It was, after I watched it, I've watched it probably like 15 times all the way through. Didn't watch it for a while, then I started watching it again, just on TV as it was on Comedy Central. By the way, Comedy Central, you're doing God's work for leaving The Office and just playing it every single day, just episode after episode. So keep doing that. Don't ever stop. But when I was watching recently, I realized that there was, first off, Netflix has cut out some scenes on The Office, particularly one scene I'm thinking of where it has a blackface joke. And I get it might be seen as racist, but you can't take that out of the show. It wasn't racist. It was funny. And if you want to argue with me about it, then we can argue about it. Comedy shouldn't be censored unless you're being overtly overtly like we're actually attacking a race or attacking a person, but mocking and making jokes is different. Dave Chappelle's show is a show that will forever live in infamy, and Netflix better not take it down because we need shows like that. I'm not like a huge Dave Chappelle show fan. However, I respect. There are some episodes that are super funny. Some skits in that show I could live without, but some skits are super funny. I don't want to talk about the show and get just watch it. Just watch it. Just watch. I don't want to give away any bits. But Dave Chappelle does a good job in that show where he's got an audience, like he does it like live, but the skits I'm pretty sure are filmed beforehand. So he's in front of the audience live, but then the show, like the skits were already done beforehand. That show pushed the boundaries, pushed the edge of what is accepted, but it was allowed because he was black. Obviously, a white person could not do the jokes and the comedy that he did. But the kind of wherewithal you have to do a show like the Dave Chappelle show and get away with it. Well, he didn't like fully get away with it, but we need people like that. We need content like that out there because our world's too soft for one, and then two, everybody's got to make fun of themselves every once in a while. I make fun of myself all the time. I'm 5'8.5". I'm white. I'm too old to play football, but yet I'm at a junior college playing football with a bunch of 20-year-olds. You know what I mean? Like, my life is funny. My life's a joke. Not my life is not a joke, but you know what I mean? Like, I make fun of myself all the time. I get roasted at football all the time. In the Marine Corps, everybody roasts each other. Like, it just happens. If you say something stupid, you should get made fun of. You should get laughed at. If you ask a stupid question, people should laugh. But it's better for everybody that way. We gotta laugh at ourselves. We gotta like just laugh more in life. We gotta laugh about things. Obviously, if you're struggling mentally with something, then go get help. That's not what I'm not saying to ignore the actual like traumas you may have. I'm not saying ignore the actual mental problems you may have. I'm just saying that I mean, I'm thinking of this quote. I can't think of it off the top of my head. It's something on the lines of, you were offended and I thought it was funny. That's why I'm happier than you. And it's so true because some people just think it's cool to be the victim. Like, it's cool nowadays to be the victim. For whatever reason, I don't know when it started. I don't know how it started, but it needs to stop. It's what fuels the cancel culture. It's what fuels all, like, and honestly, I feel like it fuels more hate. And the people that are pro cancel culture are anti-hate, but that's not how they live it. You know, they don't reflect it in their actions. The cancel culture seems to produce more hate than anything. It fuels hate. It creates hate out of nothing. It divides. We just need to be able to laugh at things. I don't even know where I was going with that, but yeah, the shows on Netflix, I feel like are getting worse as far as like they're not as funny because people are afraid to offend somebody. There hasn't been a good comedy movie in a minute. Think of the last time you went to the movies and you saw a comedy that was actually funny. Not a romantic comedy, just a comedy. Even a romantic comedy. How about that? Yeah, count romantic comedies. Think of the last new movie that you saw that was actually funny. The last movie that came out that I could think was like actually funny was like maybe The Hangover and like recent movies. Let's Google it. Let's Google comedy like comedy movies. Comedy movies. Let's look up 2020. Comedy movies 2020. I have heard of 0 of these movies. Best comedy movies of 2020. These are the best comedy movies of 2020. Tell me if you've heard of any of these. Is Downhill the movie? That looks terrible. Friendsgiving, never heard of it. Love, Wedding, Repeat, Like a Boss. Have you heard of any of these movies? The King of Staten Island. I've kind of heard of that, but that's the one with Pete Davidson. And I don't like Pete Davidson. I don't think he's that funny. So that was probably terrible. Emma. Oh, look, it's the girl from what's the Queen's Gambit. Is that her name? Anaya Taylor-Joy. Is that her name? Is that her? Is that girl? Let's Google that. Anaya Taylor-Joy. If it's not that. That's her name? I had no idea that was her name. From the Queen's Gambit. That's her. She looks like she could be somewhat psycho. Oh, look, she's an American flag dress thing. All right, I'm a fan. Okay. I'm gonna save that time. You've not heard of any of these other movies. And Will Ferrell's in a couple of the new Ghostbusters, Afterlife. Can anybody tell me if that was any good? They've seen the new Ghostbusters. All right, I'm done looking at this list. This is bad. None of these are any good. I'm just gonna tell you. Oh, the new Borat. Okay, the new Borat came out in 2020, but I did hear people got offended at the new Borat, which is good. So I haven't seen that yet, but I was just showing you that there hasn't been any recent good comedies that are like that will be forever be funny. You know, like Step Brothers, The Hangover, Superbad. Like those are top tier comedy movies that aren't romantic comedy. That's a big difference. Movies that are funny just to be funny. Like Dumb and Dumber. You could watch Dumb and Dumber tomorrow, right now, and it'd still be funny. Granted, there are different types of funny. Dumb and Dumber is kind of like more of that stupid kind of humor. Superbad though, Superbad's like a mix of a lot of things. It's like got a crazy plot. It's just some kids one kid's just trying to get laid before he goes to college. They were nerds, you know, getting alcohol for a party to impress the girl, and the night is just what, you know what I mean? That's the whole premise of the movie. Funny movie. What was the other one that I said? Step Brothers. Step Brothers. The plot of that movie, you have two grown adults living together, and first off, the fact that that couple would get married at quote unquote such an old age. If you're that old, I'm not dogging you. I'm just saying the fact that those parents got married at what, 60 something, and they had almost 40-year-old sons living with them still, both of them, and those sons became stepbrothers, and they fought like they were 12 years old. Like, that's amazing. Amazing plot. Talladega Nights, another Will Ferrell movie. What's the other guy's name in Talladega Nights and with Will Ferrell? I'm gonna just type in character of Step Brothers. I want to know their characters' names. It's wait, is it John C. Reilly? Where are the actors in? Will Ferrell, Brennan is Brennan, and then John is Dale. Oh, John. Okay, it's John C. Reilly, whatever. John C. Reilly. Those two dudes together make funny movies. But now we're all getting these movies that always have some like political political agenda. I just want a funny movie. Don't try to push your ideologies at me, and let's just have a laugh. Offend some people. You know what I mean? Like, make fun of white people from Texas. There's plenty of Texas jokes out there. There's plenty of that, like, you know, a lot of people from California, they hear I'm from Texas, and at some point, they always make the joke, I've had friends for a while, of like some sort of dating your cousin or dating your sister joke. And it's funny. That's more of an Arkansas type of thing. That doesn't really happen much in Texas. Arkansas is where you want to go with that. Arkansas, maybe Missouri, maybe Alabama, but Arkansas is where the cousin lovin's at. See, look, we're doing it right now. If you're from the South and you went somewhere in the United States, you know, Midwest, maybe to the Northeast, or the West Coast, East Coast, anywhere else but the South, you probably got a dating your sister joke, or dating or kissing your cousin joke. And they're funny every time. You know, and then I make fun of like how everybody in California, all they do is surf or whatever, which where I live is not off base. What's the stereotype of people from California? Cha, bro, like that. You know what I mean? Like they all talk like that. Which in San Clemente, California, a lot of the dudes do talk like that. That's neither here or there. Not exaggerating, and I'm not lying. All right, to conclude what I was saying, don't be offended. Just have fun. Make fun of yourself. Make fun of others. Let's just all have a laugh together. Life will be better if we can just have fun with it. I know there's a time to be serious. I know there's times to tackle actual issues. But come on, just like enjoy life. Quit. I don't know, like when it's not cool to be the victim. And today's society makes it to where the person who's the victim is like some sort of hero. Or the person that says their views or says their opinions on Twitter is like, that was hard. It's not hard to say your opinions on Twitter. You're not a hero. Okay? Just relax, enjoy life. That is my advice for this week. So this week, make sure you find something to laugh at. I'm going to conclude the show. Make sure you follow on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. Make sure you are subscribed to Spotify. I don't understand how the Anchor website works, but I will throw the link out there because I have a link for Anchor. If you guys actually listen on Anchor, I don't know if you guys actually do that or not. But I use Anchor to publish the MP3 podcast episodes to wherever you listen to podcasts, like whether it's Spotify, Apple Music. I think we're on there, and then there's like it notifies me every couple hours when it's updated, like that an episode's uploaded to the next platform. All right, guys, let's have a good start to the week. Let's have a good Monday. Don't have a case of the Monday blues. Let's be positive today. Make sure you catch us live tomorrow on those platforms that I just mentioned. And also make sure to tell your friends, comment, share, like, give me some feedback on how the show was for today. All right, guys. Until next time, I want some music in this out. I want it to play. All right, guys. Until next time, catch y'all on the Flippity Flip.